Welcome to the first episode of Hot Pursuit. We are a podcast about creating conversations where nothing is off limits.
This podcast is produced by Asian Boss Girl.
My name is Emily. Hi, nice to meet you. I am the older sister you've always wanted.
Hi, my name is Jen. Nice to meet you as well. I'm the cheese ball in your snack drawer.
And I'm Madelyn, your girl who thinks everything really is that deep.
Yay! We are here, guys. How do we feel?
I can't believe we're in the Spotify studios.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. This is a huge dream come true because we've all been watching ABG for years now. They've been especially instrumental in getting us through our corporate lives, and we really wish they were here right now. Yeah. Oh, wait, you guys. Okay, I have a surprise for you guys.
Oh, M.
I brought ABG with us. So we can just have them as like our creature comforts as we are doing our first episode.
Right here, right next to me.
Put it right here.
Next to me, please.
This is before Helen had her baby, so she's still pregnant. They look so gorgeous, though.
They're glowing.
Wow.
They look so good.
They're here with
Isn't
us.
that funny?
Hi, Janet. Hi, man.
So you guys get to look at their faces. So if you don't like us, at least you can just look at them and be like, there they are at the studio.
Who are these new girls
feels like
anyway?
home now.
Yeah. Now
We're
it's
home, guys.
Now it's perfect.
All 6 of us together.
All 6 of us.
So how did we end up here, guys?
Dude,
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
You used to work for ABG, right?
Yes, I worked with them for like 2-3 years doing their partnerships and branding stuff. And I feel like seeing their like just genuine care and like heart for the Asian American girls that they get to pour into is so meaningful and so beautiful. So like many of y'all, when they're announcing their hiatus, you're just like, what? But my older sisters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do without them? What am I going to listen to on my commute? And so it was really magical, I think, especially getting to be with them in their tour when they'd already announced like their hiatus and everything. And just seeing so many connections forming between their listeners and so many young girls with them. And that bond that like transcends beyond like in-person interactions, but just through stories and like their vulnerability and bravery and courage to share so much of themselves with so many girls was so beautiful. So
7 years of it. Too.
Yeah. Their legacy is like truly quite incredible.
Yeah.
And so, I think that was really captivating. And as they were kind of thinking about what's next, I know they weren't sure maybe what could be next for their legacy and whatnot. And so through some of those late night combos with Helen on the ABG tour.
A genius.
Yeah, she's so sharp, so intelligent, so bright.
And so hot.
Yeah. Yes.
Just saying.
The idea was like tossed around at like 3 a.m., lying in bed, post makeup off,
Best
fresh skincare together with Helen of like next generation of 3 girls. But I didn't really think anything of it. And then I was just yapping away with Mads on a FaceTime call. And she said the infamous few words, pull the thread.
Just pull the thread a little bit. I mean, Jen has 2 podcasts on her own, actually, discussing film and television. She's really passionate about it.
She's very crazy, this one.
Oh my God, she's psycho.
Yeah.
But she's been doing that for 6 or 7 years. And my perspective as her friend was just pull the thread a little bit on, some connections that you have and see how maybe this could scale for what you've already built. And then I think she thought about it and had a couple ideas on what if it was the next generation of 3 girls. And so she called me and she asked me, hey, Em, do you think she would be interested? And I was like, I have the power of attorney, yes. Called M and was like, absolutely proceed. And then Jen was like, well, what about you? And I was like, oh, I don't I mean, and then Jen posed it kind of as like a moral decision. She was like, but it's about caring for the next generation of Asian American women. And I was like, oh shit, I mean, I guess it's morally wrong if I say no.
Yeah, thinking about how we specifically wanted to like carry on ABG's legacy, that heart of friendship and love and vulnerability is the center core of it all, you know?
There's also the important component of ABG putting their stake in the ground at the time. It was groundbreaking for Asian American women to be taking up space, to be in media. And I mean, they forged a path that didn't exist. And so now with a new generation, we wanted to continue that legacy and make sure that it stays alive because they've put so much work into ensuring that there's a space for Asian Americans and fought so hard that it's really important to us that we not only occupy space, but we think about how we can push those boundaries further.
Yes, even further. Yeah. We all know each other personally on our own. Me and Madelyn have been best friends for the past like 7 or 8 years. And she is just so special to me. I think she was my first friend that really felt like a really best friend, like a real best friend. I don't know, just like very equal in that sense. And y'all's friendship too. Like they both met, we all met in Dallas.
We did.
We do not.
Okay, it's origin stories.
Yes, we don't live in Dallas right now, but that's how we all met in our early 20s. Yeah.
I think Mads is like one of the most rarest, specialist humans, souls to walk the earth.
She is a rare specimen.
She really is.
Like one of those shrimp.
The way that
Those rainbow those rainbow shrimps that's really hard to find.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Nobody,
it's scary.
You are so lucky if you get to be loved by Mads, literally.
It's true, because she can read you like a book within not even 30 seconds of speaking with you. She's like, I know what you're all about, and she is scary accurate. Yeah, she'll read you like a book and then pick you up and be like, let's write some chapters together. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Well, similarly, I think Jen is also one of the rarest souls on this earth, and I've known you for, I don't know, 7, 8 years. Jen is one of the probably wisest, smartest, sharpest souls on this planet. She is a master at nuance. And so she will help you.
Yes.
Yeah, she will help you see things and distill things down with such clarity that you never even knew you needed. And then once you're able to see those things, you're able to move differently in life. And also she's like so soft and gentle and warm, and she's able to love people so wholly. There is no comparison, you know? So similarly, I feel very lucky and felt it was quintessential that you are part of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then we have Em. She can empathize and make you feel like everything you felt before that you thought you were alone in.
Yeah, she's felt
You were not alone. Like she was with you. It's like she was with you in that. And you're like, but that was from when I was 8. How did you know that? And she's like, but I know. And then here's the other weird, crazy thing with Em is like the things that you've never shared before to anybody in your life, all of a sudden you're spilling them out and she's just collecting all of them so faithfully. And you're like, I've never said that to anybody before. How did you do that? How did you create like the most safest, warmest, gentlest environment for you to just like come and lay?
Yeah,
And she's just like, I mean, tell me a little more. Tell me a little more. And you're like, really? Really? And then they just come spilling out of your mouth and you've told your entire life story over voice memos. And you're like, oh, what? But you don't realize until many hours later, you know? Yeah, because she's just holding you so gently.
Oh, thanks, guys. Truly, to be known is to be loved.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a great start to this episode. We're very close in real life. We love each other so much.
And I think if we think about how we wanted to like carry on ABG's legacy, what made them so special, so magical, what made so many girls feel just like so connected to them, that's a lot that informed our name. Should we tell them about our name? Because I feel like the name captures the heart of what ABG represented and what we also wanted to just like showcase and bring to the world.
Yeah.
So our name is
Hot Pursuit.
Hot
Pursuit.
We went through, guys, we went through
hundreds
so
of
many names. We had so many 3-hour-long meetings about like, what could our name be? We wanted something dichotomous. We wanted something punchy, clever, and also very representative of who we are as 3 friends.
Yeah.
And we landed on Hot Pursuit.
There were so many times when we were doing this name combo thing to brainstorming. We're just like, who are we? What are we?
Yeah.
Wait, what are we even? What?
Yeah.
Who are we?
Yeah.
And I think Hot Pursuit felt really right because we love to pursue the depths of each other, the depths of each other's souls, like all those like back corner alleyways, hidden attics. We're just like, I want to know that in you. I
Tell
want to
me
know
more.
that in you, you know, in every realm and dimension.
Yeah.
And so we
What's
felt
behind that curtain?
Yeah.
What's in that corner? Yeah.
What have
Yeah.
you never shared with anyone before?
Tell me.
surely nothing being off limits.
Seeing someone else like love the parts of you that like you've never loved, you know,
Yeah.
really opens your eyes and makes you think and wonder like, oh, maybe that part's like not so scary. I don't need to be ashamed of it. You know, because like if this person loves it, like what's to be scared of?
Yeah. And we wanted to model that and kind of create that relationship with our listeners. And obviously it's not like super possible, like we can't hold hands through the camera, but we wanted to be able to create a space where we can have conversations that are very vulnerable, creating conversations where nothing is off limits, no topic is off limits, and we trust each other to talk about like really vulnerable things.
So we felt so much safety with each other and love with each other, and we just want to invite all of y'all into our safe little corner of the internet, where we just get to like share all of the things that are so real in our lives and our past years of existence and what our hopes and dreams are as well. So we hope this feels safe. And comfortable for you. But also, we recognize, like, this is the first time that you're, like, hearing us speak. So it'll take time, too. You're just getting to know us. And we just spewed a lot of things. But give us a chance. And come alongside.
We're new.
We're very grateful to the ABG girls. They have mentored us.
So
They've
much.
modeled so much, taught us all the ropes. And I mean, it's our first time podcasting, so please be gentle with us. Please be nice.
There's so much work that goes on behind the cameras that I feel like these ladies never even talk about. And they really only show up and talk and share, and that's hard enough, but they care about you guys so much. Like I can't even put into words how much they love you and how much they think about you. Working with them and working alongside them has been so eye-opening in terms of like how much they actually care about their audience. I mean, I'm sure you can feel it, you know, through the episodes, but they pour their hearts and souls, their lives into this. So
the hearts are so pure. Their hearts are so pure.
we just want to carry on a fraction of that if possible.
We'll try,
Yes.
but we're new. We don't really know what we're doing. Okay,
Be nice.
We were also part of their audience too, and they kind of guided us through life as well. Like
their hearts are so pure, and they love and care about like so many Asian American girls, like in the U.S., all around the world, and it's the Asian American experience that so many people shared and so many girls like related to them of like, oh my God, I felt those same things too growing up. And so we thought we'd start off by sharing a little bit about ourselves, where we come from, our backgrounds, kind of like a get to know us, but then also what's really cool is we're all from very different parts of the United States. So we didn't grow up in California where there were maybe a lot more Asians in our community. And so seeing them occupy this space was really exciting. But there's also so many different flavors and dimensions of the Asian American experience in the U.S. that we've all experienced in very different flavors. So this is a little bit of like a peek into our childhoods, what makes us who we are today, and also how we've really embraced our Asian American identities, like, and kind of the wrestling with it too over time. So that we can hopefully showcase, like, for anyone that's out there that didn't grow up in California too, like, we see you, we didn't grow up in California, and
we are you.
Experiences are so different.
we
literally.
are you. So we all actually live in different cities right now, and we all are from different cities, and we all met somehow in Dallas, Texas.
Very random.
So random.
Which is the home of Emily.
Yes. So I was born in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, and I moved to Dallas when I was 6 years old, and I grew up there. So I am a Southern girl. I'm a Southern Asian American.
What are those like?
Yeah, tell us. I'm sorry.
I grew up in Texas. I grew up in a suburb called Plano, Texas. Shout out Plano. And it was a very diverse city, but my formative years, I was just surrounded by white people. What was interesting about my upbringing was that everyone was very the culture that I grew up in was a mixture of Southern hospitality. Everyone's very kind. No one really shares their true feelings. They're always like, you bless your heart. And then mixed with the Asian, like, saving face, and they compounded together. And it was really crazy because everyone was very kind, very hospitable, very nice. But you can always tell there's like an undertone of something else, and everyone's always like feeling something else, which is why I love to just draw it out of people, because like I know there's something under there, but culturally you're not allowed to express that, expose that. And so the culture I grew up in was it was really interesting because I lived in the Bible Belt, and everyone was Christian, and it was actually kind of weird if you said you weren't. Like, everyone was like, "Oh, what? You're not?" It was very interesting because the non-Christians were like the outliers, and the culture in Texas at the time was very, very evangelical Christian, like, influenced. So like everyone kind of behaved the same.
That is quite a combination of many things that are all colliding together, that I think anyone who maybe is from Texas or sees those like many strands of different cultural things fusing together and forming so much. And also, it's such a youth thing now to be like, I see you, come out. So I wonder how much that your upbringing like informed that for you.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, being in that environment where there's so many different like types of communities that are informing the culture, were there places where you felt out of place, or were there places where you felt like, oh my gosh, I kind of feel a little bit more like I belong here? And what were those places and peoples like?
Yeah. Where I felt most at home was actually at church, because the church my family went to was a Chinese church, and that's where my main community was, because like I was like, oh, these people kind of grew up in the same context that I did, and it was just like I could notice a difference. I was definitely more comfortable at church versus at school, but school like kind of exposed me to different ways of life, and that was really interesting. Yeah.
There's like exposure you had to other cultures, but then there's those places where you felt like, oh, this is my
like
people
this.
a little
They
bit.
understand.
Their family
me.
dynamics are similar to mine.
Yeah. Like they understand why my mom was mad at me because I got a B on my test. Like,
Because their mom's also mad at them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
for getting a B plus.
Yeah. I remember complaining to like a friend. I was like, man, I got an 80 on this. And she was like, that's really good. And I was like, no, it's not. I'm freaking out. And so it was really interesting to see like the difference in culture there.
Yeah. So we have Texas representing.
Yes.
Where are you representing from, ma'am?
Hello. So I was actually born in Little Rock, Arkansas, if you can believe it.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's a really pretty state. There's not many of our kind there. People do kind of look a little bit. They kind of just look at you and smile, you know. But very nice. And then my family moved to Wichita, Kansas. So shout out to all of my Midwest Asians. I feel like we don't get
Midwest.
enough airtime.
Yes.
You
I
don't.
am you. I am here for you. I'm your girl. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? So I was raised in Wichita, Kansas, and moved to Dallas for school, and I worked a little bit there, and I'm now in San Francisco, and all the cities have been such different experiences. And even meeting Emily when I moved to Dallas and seeing all of her community and having her having like those types of Asians around her versus when I moved to California, and like those Asians are totally different.
Very
you know?
different, yeah.
But we're kind of viewed as a monolith, and like the nuances are never really highlighted. So I'm here to represent the Midwest.
And you're
I'm
so proudly.
I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
Any Kansans, anyone from the Midwest, I'm your girl. I rep it.
It's so fun being like out and about with Mads, and you see her meet anyone from Kansas.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And her
She just
face
lights up.
Yeah.
She's
She like becomes like a beam of light.
It's because people from the Midwest just have this warmth and love that you don't get anywhere else. And if you're not from the Midwest, like you just don't feel it. Different from Southern hospitality. Like it's just, you can feel it in their soul. Yes.
What were your communities like? Like whether it was at school or outside of school, family, friends, like did you have places where you felt like you belonged, or did you feel kind of the differences between you and a lot of the people around you that you grew up with that were like in your orbit?
Yeah. So in school, I was mostly surrounded by white people, I would say. There were definitely other minorities, but I mean, it's Wichita, Kansas. At the end of the day, like there are farms like 5 minutes from my house. But I think I always knew that I was different from the people around me, and I always knew that there was this thing that I've now learned is code switching, right? Like where you have to just kind of like put on the face for outward facing people, and then when you are with your own people that look like you and speak your same language, you can kind of act a little bit differently. And so as a kid, like I knew that's just the way life was, but I didn't really understand necessarily what that meant in the terms of intersectionality.
Big word.
Wow.
But it was so interesting because I think now when I'm out in the real world as a big girl, I meet so many different people and so many different Asian Americans, just different people that come from different backgrounds, and you really realize like how different your specific upbringing was, and just seeing the voids or the extra weights that like certain burdens that other people have or that you have, you know. So it's very different. But what about you, Jen? The Northeast.
The Northeast. Yeah. So I grew up in a suburb of Philly. So for anybody that's from the tri-state area, there's definitely like a flavor of Asian American that I feel like we all feel a camaraderie with. It's like specifically Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Asian Americans. Your parents probably were like engineers or chemists at pharmaceutical companies. Common. Yeah, very common because there's just kind of like a cluster of them. There's a lot of like job opportunities that like drew a lot of folks there. It's a very different like experience than I felt when I went to college and met more California Asians. I felt like, oh, I thought we were similar, but actually there are those differences and nuances. But in the suburb of PA, I grew up in a more rural area, and it was definitely white suburbia. Lots of farms, cows, and soccer games with goldfish.
Goldfish?
Yeah, snacks.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Just
like
goldfish. Most of my school experiences growing up, especially in formative years, like in elementary school, middle school, high school is a little bit different, but like those growing years, predominantly white classmates. And so a lot of my birthday parties and stuff, I look back on photos now and it's like me with my like Abercrombie and Fitch, and I'm blowing out my candles, and there's just like 25 white girls around me. And I think I didn't realize what you were talking about at the time of like code switching. And I like code switched so hard that I feel like I didn't really see and notice a lot of those differences until later. And I look at those photos and I'm like, this feels familiar. I've seen this before. Is this like Tarzan? You know, when Tarzan looks at a photo of himself later and he's like, oh, I didn't there's so many differences between me and a lot of the people in my environment that like I was absorbed in.
You're
know?
Tarzan.
I had some lifelines, which I'm so grateful for.
Okay.
I just felt such like camaraderie. You just
You're
play
like, these
and
are my
have fun
friends.
together. These are my
Yeah.
friends. But looking back now and having like a much deeper like understanding and embracing of my culture, I didn't have as clear awareness.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah, that's because it's your environment.
Yeah.
I thought you were one of them.
Yeah.
And then
I was like, I also wear plaid shorts and have the cami sticking out at the bottom with a different color too.
Yeah.
You know?
Then
Now I realize. Yeah, now I love. But I think when you're just like younger and you just want to belong and fit in and whatnot, like I still felt those differences, like going to friends' houses and they do breakfast very differently than we do breakfast. They've got full spread waffles with fresh fruit and syrup the next day after a sleepover, or like the ease with which to hang out with each other so different than I feel like Asian Americans.
They use cream cheese.
They do.
Yeah.
So
All
much
the cream.
cheese.
Yeah.
Lots of peanut butter.
Yeah.
We use peanut butter to make like peanut butter sesame noodles. Cold
Yeah.
noodles. You know what I mean? They spread peanut butter on bread.
On like bread, on
Yes.
white bread.
White
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Like
The ease with which hanging out with friends was so different. So I had friends, especially in middle school, that'd be like, come over and hang out with us. I was like, it's Tuesday. I need to go home and do my homework. You're like, no problem. Just come on the bus with me and come home and then sleep over. I was like, I don't even pretend to ask my parents.
Yeah,
It's going to be a no.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Go home. Jen. So that was like those differences that you
Interesting.
feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm really grateful for what I call these lifelines. I had Chinese school on Sunday afternoons, which was really special. And I feel like that was a place where I was like surrounded by a lot of Asians. And then growing up, we would go back to China to visit my grandma. And I feel like that was so necessary. Like looking back now, I think if I didn't have that, I would feel a lot more disconnected from my culture. But there's something about like being in a place where you look around and everyone really looks like you. And you didn't know that that was important to you until you're there. And you're like walking down the street and you're like, I blend in.
Yeah.
People don't like, these are my people, you know?
Yeah.
Those like connection points to your culture, I feel like are so valuable to protect. So I'm grateful for those things because I really might think that I was really white.
Yeah. Realizing that
those.
there's a world that you belong in fully
Yeah.
is kind of groundbreaking.
And your roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so many different flavors of Asian
So many
American
different.
too.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of intersections in the sense of that, like I do also remember like my white friends would come over on like, a Tuesday and like, do you want to ride bikes? And I'm like, what do you mean? Do I want to ride bikes? I have to practice piano.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have homework.
Yes.
And I also have Chinese homework too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like the tiniest little cultural differences. Yeah. And it's just so interesting in the ways like they play out between all three of us.
Yeah, I think what we have in common perhaps is even though we were all in different parts of the US, we all grew up in environments where a lot of people around us did not look and feel like us. So there was a lot of like code switching and having to like understand like cultural difference and social cues, and that feeling of like ease of belonging maybe wasn't as imminent and quick compared to maybe people that grew up in more environments where there's predominantly much more people that were like them.
Yeah.
And that shapes us. That informs who we are.
I had an internship at this financial planning office, and like everyone was very white. Like they're all from East Texas, so that's like super white. They all have the accents and everything. Very sweet people. But I remember I had my cup of hot water every morning because that's just how I like to start my day. That was pre-coffee, and they were like, "Oh, Emily, what are you drinking?" And I was like, "Hot water," and they're like,
What?
"Hot water?" And I was like, "What do you mean hot water?" And they're like,
with lemon in it?
they were like,
no.
"That's gross." And I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
And I was already like 21 at the time. I'm like, "Is that weird for you guys?" And
Yeah, it is.
I had no idea. I was just like, it's just like a great way to start the day. Yeah. So like the code switching too, I was like, oh, should I put some leaves in my tea so you feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also something we've all experienced is we've all kind of like made our way to the West Coast. So Jen lives in Seattle now.
Yeah, Jen lives in Seattle.
Yes.
I live in LA and I live in San Francisco. And I think we've all moved to the West Coast and experienced a culture in America that kind of celebrates being Asian, or like people have a little bit more of a space that is defined for them, even though I know sometimes like people out here still say like we need to fight for more, like absolutely. But for us, like this is already so different than what we grew up with. And like for me, it was something that I never even like dreamt of, you know, like walking around in the streets of San Francisco, I was like, oh my God, I can speak Chinese and English, and there's old people, there's grandpas and grandmas who only speak English. This feels wrong. Like what's going on here?
Yeah. Like only speak Chinese.
Only speak Chinese.
No, they only speak English.
Oh, Chinese grandpas and grandmas. Grandpas and grandmas.
Grandmas that only speak English.
Yeah, on the streets in San Francisco.
Oh.
Well, that's
Really?
wild.
Crazy.
Like
Oh, no.
generational Americans.
Oh, yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a whole
yeah.
thing.
That's
That's a whole thing.
wild.
Because a lot,
It feels
like they're like 2-3 generations in of being in
because they built the
States.
railroads.
Yes.
yeah. And like
It's true.
like we're first generation, right?
Yeah.
And like you meet people that look just like you that are like third, fourth, fifth generation.
Yes.
And you're like, what have you been through? Like what is your
Yes.
story? Like what do you feel like being American here?
Yeah.
But then similarly, like we go to Asia and we also don't belong. You know what I mean? It's like we look like these people, but they can see that we are not of them too.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird experience of like no matter where you go, you don't belong. And kind of like California and the West Coast has been so quintessential in like making a space for Asian Americans to feel safe in.
Yeah.
And I mean, we ultimately all ended up on the West Coast. So what does that say?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially in like I guess we're all from the the opportunity to be a prominent figure in media is very specific to the West Coast. And that's just like not something that people from where we are from, like, it's not a career path that people will chase and their parents would be like, yes, that makes sense. So it's just like if you wanted to have a career in media or be a pioneer, like Wong Fu Productions, they were like so like illuminating in that space.
That hits close to home for you, especially because you have these dreams and these talents that you were like, but nobody in my home, like my environment growing up, like celebrated them or encouraged them. Like, do you want to share a little bit about like what that's like for you? Because that was a whole probably like identity thing and like that perseverance that you had to like stick to your dreams.
Yeah.
Tell them. I love this.
I have always loved performing. I love being on stage and like just like watching the curtain open. It's like the best thing ever since I was like a little ballerina in North Carolina. I just loved it so much. And I remember telling my parents like, do you guys remember that show Zoom? This might date me.
Yes.
Okay, there was this one Chinese girl.
Yes.
It's like a kid variety show and they just like play games together. It was so fun. There's one Chinese girl and I was like, this is why representation is so important. I was like, I told my parents, like, she's Chinese. She's on TV.
Was it Keiko?
Yes, it was Keiko. Yeah, and I was like,
that sounds kind of like a Japanese name, but
That does sound
she was Asian.
She was Asian.
no, she was. Maybe it wasn't because I remember she was teaching the other cast members how to count 1 through 10 in Chinese. So it was her and Michelle Kwan, and those were like the 2 Asian girls I saw in media, and I was like, they're on TV. I want to be like them. And I remember telling my parents that, and they were like, oh, no. You will not do that. No. And they're like, please don't do that. Yeah. So that's always been like a little desire that I've like kept really close and precious in my heart. And I've always wanted to kind of be in the media space. Just because I feel like it's essential. It's essential to all of America because America isn't just white people. It's made up of like so many different cultures. And so I was like, gosh, I gotta do something about this. I gotta get out there. But obviously when you're a teenager, there's like no access to like studios and cameras and auditions and everything, especially in Dallas at the time. Where actually Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato are from Dallas. But I didn't know that. Because my parents were not helping me. So yeah, I started making videos when I was, I don't even know, like 10. And I've been making videos like ever since. And it's been really cool to just kind of like land here. Just like so close to those spaces of influence.
Well, there are already so many challenges that I think Asian Americans have to face getting into media. And and so like being in a place that might give you a chance gives you the opportunity to dream, because I think like if you don't even know that you want that before, you know what I mean? Like you don't know that there's an opportunity for you if you don't see people in front of you that have kind of like done that before. And Jen has a really interesting story behind this in terms of why representation matters. And like seeing yourself in characters that are in media.
So the 3 of us will talk about that a lot with just how media is what everyone consumes, and it shapes so much of like you feeling seen and heard and understood by like you seeing your experience on like the big screen or a small screen. I'm really passionate and interested in this from the perspective of like film, especially for like in animation, for example, and what like young kids are consuming. As a young girl in America in white suburbia, like I watched so many Disney princess movies. I loved Cinderella. I loved The Little Mermaid. I dressed up as them for Halloween. But those are like white, traditionally female versions that are like expressions of what like femininity looks like and all this kind of stuff. And so I wrote this whole paper in a film class in school about like why that is so problematic. It was probably like the most cathartic paper for me to write because I was just like, because I think I felt it growing up. And then, you know, so much of the media that we consumed at the time showcased the Asian females as the best friend or the nerd in the school dynamics too. And in friendships, they're always like the supporting character, the loyal best friend. For example, and a quick example is like anyone that's watched Gilmore Girls, like that Asian character, female character is like the loyal best friend, but she's also a nerd. And like there's a little bit of like representation of family dynamics, but still more limiting. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that, for example, the ABG ladies have championed and like claimed and built such a safe space for like Asian American women working in a corporate, navigating their 20s and making those women feel seen. Their investments and their like passion for creating something to exist for everyone that also experienced that for them is so meaningful. But yeah, media representation is like everything, and we're so like passionate about it. And the biggest thing too is for us to just like so truthfully and honestly share our stories and our experiences. I think like media is important because it's like what you see in your environments, but also like the places that you
The location
that you are is an environment too that informs how comfortable, how much you feel like you belong, and also like what you can dream and hope for. So I'm curious for you, Mads, like moving from the Midwest to Texas and then moving now to San Francisco and California, like what are those new things that are being unlocked that you see now in these new places?
I think something that was so interesting for me to observe was the prominence of Asian Americans or just Asian people in positions of power. So like whether it's legislation or like even like news anchors or just people with visibility, like there's so much more of that in California, and specifically in San Francisco. There's so much like Cantonese representation and like
it's kind of wild
people.
To see.
Yeah, it's really insane. And so like it's just like you don't like when you think about like how do you make an impact on your community or the world or whatever you want to make an impact on, like you have to come with the perspective that you know, you have to come with the perspective of the people that you know you're fighting for. And if those people are not in those positions, like you don't think that you are important. You may not explicitly think that, but like the way that the world feeds it to you and the way that you will learn to believe that is that it's not that important to like specifically have your needs vocalized and met. And so I think like just meeting people out here and like seeing how they have like communities of like Asian Americans surrounding them. I see like, it's really weird because I see almost like the void of burden on them because they have been surrounded by Asian Americans their whole life.
That was a bug.
I'm so sorry.
Their whole life.
Their whole life. Yeah.
Yes,
and
it's
like,
true.
No, it's
Yes.
true.
You can. It's not like their burdens are lighter, but it's like the void of having to think about that is bereft, or like the void of having to think about that is so palpable for me, and I can sense that like they've never had to like really think about occupying space in the same way. Like sure, it feels, you know, you still have to fight for it, and it's different, but it's like wildly different from like when you literally don't have anyone to look up to other than like your family and like the few families in your town that like are the community.
Yeah, it's like, of course I can sit on the city council because that's an option for me versus like in Texas, or I don't know if that's
even
true
just seeing like
you.
faces on billboards,
On a billboard,
or like I don't know, campaign signage.
It's wild because you're just
versus like all different faces that
people
don't look like you.
think that the Asian is the best option for a council spot. Like for me, that's wild. I'm like, people care. People care to hear from Asian voices. That's insane. Yeah, but then in California, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
James Wang,
Crazy.
that James Wang billboard, it's huge.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Representation in like public spaces as well, not just media, but just in your day-to-day life as you're walking down the street. Business owners.
Moving to the West Coast, I think, has been a super healing experience for me, and I didn't even know that.
You didn't even know to want it.
I didn't even know I needed
You didn't even know
it.
you wanted to.
Yeah, but it's really nice to feel like you belong.
It's really nice.
Yeah. And I can like speak English. I can also speak Chinese, and you're imperceptible in terms of difference. So it's really, really nice.
Shout out to California, but also shout out to all the
Yes.
non-California
Oh my gosh.
Asians out there.
Yeah, we really see you.
We have lived your life.
Yeah.
So that was a little peek into our childhood experiences, kind of the environments and places and spaces and faces that surrounded us as we were growing up, which really inform who we are now, kind of our roots, a little peek into maybe getting to know us a little bit more too. And we know this is going to be like a journey too of figuring out like who are these three girls, that have showed up on the scene.
Yeah.
But we really want to take care of the ABG legacy. They've made so many strides forward for young Asian American women that are working in corporate, looking to build like a life for themselves, grow and become better versions of themselves. And we want to do that too. And we want to do that together with each other as well. So come along this journey with us. Whatever type of Asian American you are, we celebrate you. Come into the fold. And like we mentioned at the beginning of our whole convo, the heart of this is us just pursuing the depths of each other and knowing each other so deeply. So that really informs our name, Hot Pursuit. Welcome. And we're in it together, y'all.
Yeah.
We're figuring out life together. It's going to be messy, imperfect, crazy, deranged, psychotic, really fun, silly, goofy, ridiculous, larger than life.
Yeah.
And we hope you're along this roller coaster ride with us. So with that, we hope to see you next week. And
We better see you next week, please.
And whoever you are, we want to do this together with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Toodles.
Hot Pursuit. Ow.